My dear brothers and sisters, in Jesus, our risen Lord, what sense do we make of all of this? Is a question that's in all of our minds, in the midst of a pandemic. Innocent people, unfortunately sick. So many already dead. Coffins lined up, waiting burial. In some places, hardly anyone by the side of the dying. In other places, mass graves to bury the dead. In the midst of all of this, there are theories, there are questions, there are accusations. People blaming some race, some nation. And eventually, the question is asked, why? Some even go as far as blaming God. God is angry with the world, and so he's destroying the world. And the prophets of doom predict the end of the world. What sense do we make of all of this? My dear brothers and sisters, as I have been reflecting over the last couple of weeks, from a quiet, peaceful convent in a small village in the hills of Germany, I could not but associate myself and be united during these days with the apostles of Jesus and the women disciples of Jesus during those days of his passion, suffering, and death. Their hopes for a glorious kingdom, that they would be champions, ministers, and sharing his power, dashed. Their dreams shattered. They themselves, who looked forward to the king and believed him to be king, instead see him arrested and hanging on a cross and crying, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Betrayed by his own friend with a kiss. Denied 3 times by another whom he trusted to lead his group. And then around that cross, the shattering earthquake, darkness at noon. And the tragic scene of the Pieta, a mother holding the lifeless, dead body of her only son. What sense do we make of all of this? And so they were hiding. They were afraid for their lives, their future over. Worse, they were accused. They could be next. What sense do we make of this all? And in the midst of this, Jesus comes to them. In the midst of their questions, their fear, their anguish, their shame, their guilt, their horrendous feelings of brokenness, he comes amongst them. Shalom, peace I give you. My peace I give you, a peace that the world cannot give. Suddenly, their hearts are filled with an inner peace and inner strength that comes from his Spirit. The world around them remains the same. Their enemies still accusing them. Many see them as pariah because they associated with him. The external hasn't changed for them. But something has changed. The risen Lord has filled their hearts with His spirit of peace, which is His courage, His strength, His fortitude, His consolation, and His grace that enables them to stand tall in the midst of the gloom and doom around them. Shalom. Peace I give you. My dear brothers and sisters, shalom, peace, has been my own personal experience during these few weeks. I found myself during these few weeks away from my community, from my redemptorist brothers, with so many questions, my own angst, my own worries, my own tensions. But if there's one thing that has kept me through and continues to keep me through, is the risen Jesus. Shalom. To be honest with you, the future I have no clue about. When will I get back to India? When will I have a flight that takes me back? Will the airports open in India? If I get back when the lockdown is lifted here and in India, will I be sent to a quarantine facility in a government hospital? Or will I be allowed to go to my community for self-quarantine? What does the future have in store for me? I have no clue. But this much I know, that the one who has held me with His peace through my past, the one who holds me with His peace in my present, He holds my future in His love and in His mercy. And so I rest secure. I don't even attempt to answer that question, what sense do we make of this all? Because I know that the only sense I need is Jesus, my risen Lord, and His shalom. My dear brothers and sisters, this Holy Week has been unique. It has been challenging for all of us. You have been used year after year to going to church, to participating in the liturgy, to celebrating the Lord's suffering, passion, death, and glorious resurrection. Yet you find yourselves at home. And yet in your home, amongst your family, the Word was proclaimed for you. Jesus, the Word, came into your homes, into your hearts, as peace, as shalom, as the risen one, as you opened your hearts to receive the reflections, the sharings, the services brought alive to you through the internet. The Word became flesh for you. This Easter, the risen one comes to you in your homes, amongst your family members, as peace, with His gracious words, shalom. Even through Holy Week, the risen one was active. He was active to the many people, you yourselves, who despite the situation went out of your way to help your neighbors in distress, to support those who were struggling, to give generously to the poor, to pray as a family together, to encourage and support each other with text messages and phone calls. The risen one was alive, working, and will continue to work. He is our shalom. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, the future, I have no clue. None of us have a clue of what is going to happen and how long this would last. But so much we know, and this is the Easter message. Courage. Our God is in charge. The resurrection is the destruction of sin and death. And it is life, because our God reigns. He is alive. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, this Easter 2020. I wish all of you, your families, your loved ones, on behalf of all the Redemptorists of India, the Redemptorist Provincial of Bangalore, Father Edward, the Redemptorist Provincial of Liguri in Kerala, Father Biju, and myself, Vice Provincial of the Redemptorists of Magellan, the West Coast of India, Ivel Mendanha. I wish all of you the peace of Jesus, our risen Lord. Happy Easter.